Hi and welcome back to the channel, my friends. Today we are going to take the summary of grade 7. We are going to learn several things today. For example, how to read the clock, how to ask for the time, the difference between should and shouldn't with examples, and so many more. Are you ready? Let's go. Let's start on how to read the clock. Okay, so the most important thing you should know that the short or small hand tells you the hour, and the long or big hand in the clock tells you the minute of the current hour, and the thinnest hand indicates the seconds of the current minute. So here we have when the minute hand is at 12, we say o'clock, and 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. We only have a half past and never a half to. See here, number 6, it's actually 30 minutes, but we'd say it's half past, okay, if you want to read the time. And use quarter for 15 minutes before or after the hour. See in number 3, it's actually 15 minutes, but we say it's a quarter past. From 1 to 5, we say it's past. In number 6, we say past. But in number 7 to 11, we say 2. For example, 11, it's 15 minutes, so we say it's 5-2. Okay, so it's actually making the time easier to read. As you have examples here, the first one, it's 2 o'clock. The second one, it's 5 past 2. And you have an example here, it's 10 to 3. The last one, it's 5 to 3. You can go along through all of this, which makes you understand how to read the clock even better. And don't forget that we use at plus time when giving the time of a specific event. We say, for example, the class starts at 9 o'clock. So as you've understood the basics on how to read the clock, you have an example here. Look at the clock carefully and find the missing numbers to tell the time in different ways. Okay, you have 2 options here. What do you think the answer is? Correct, it's 35 minutes past 4. Next is how to ask about the time. So we use do and does for asking about the time. For example, number 1, what time do you go to school? And number 2, what time does Ahmed go to school? The only difference is that do we're using for plurals, which is you, I, they, and we. And does we use it for he, she, or it for singulars. Next is a small exercise to write the time shown on each clock. I would give you time to write your answers and then I will review the answers. Are you ready? The next point is the preposition in, on, and at. So basically you have 2 boxes here, the time and place. They all use the in, on, at prepositions. You have many sentences, you have many examples. For a time, we can say in the morning, on Monday, at 9 a.m. And for the place, we can say in Chinatown, on a plane, at the bus stop. So also don't forget you should know the use of from, to, and between, besides the prepositions in, on, and at. Moving on to the WH questions, which is basically the questions that has W and H. Here you have who, which is asking about a person. Where is asking about a place. When is asking about time. Why is asking for the reason. What is asking for specific thing. How is asking for way. Which is asking about choice. How many is asking about quantity. And how often is asking about frequency. All of these are the WH questions. Okay, here's a small exercise. You have to complete the questions with the correct word. I will solve with you the 3 first questions, then I will leave you to solve the rest. Okay, number 1. Blank color is your hair. It is black. Okay, so what is the answer should be? What, where, when, or who? Since the question is asking for a specific thing, so the answer is what? What color is your hair? Number 2. Blank are my glasses. They are on your head. Okay, so the question is asking for a place. Since they are looking for something, the answer should be where are my glasses? Number 3. Blank, do you visit your friends? On Sundays. Since the question is asking for a time, the answer should be when. When do you visit your friends? Okay, so always focus on the questions. What are they asking exactly? Then you will know how to solve the rest. Okay, try to answer the rest of the questions and I'll review the answers in 3, 2, 1. Next is the past simple tense plus ago. We often use reference words with the past simple tense like ago. The adverb ago refers to a period of time. that is completed and goes from a point in the past up to now. Ago follows expressions of time. For example, number 1, it happened a long time ago. Number 2, they arrived in Athens 6 weeks ago. And of course, we can't say they arrived in Athens ago 6 weeks. It's wrong. Number 3, 5 years ago, I broke my leg. Number 4, she had a baby a month ago. I'll show you another example for more details. Musa finished college 6 years ago. Another example, Ibrahim left an hour ago. So have you understood that we use the word ago to talk about something when happened in the past? As well, we can't say a day ago. Instead, we can use yesterday. Moving on to the comparative and superlative. Okay, comparative adjectives are used to compare differences between the two objects. For example, larger, smaller, faster, higher. They are used in sentences where two nouns are compared. So for example here, my house is larger than hers. And number 2, this box is smaller than the one I lost. And number 3, your dog runs faster than Jim's dog. So you understood you have a noun subject plus verb plus adjective er plus than plus noun. So you have to compare between the two things. Unlike the superlative adjectives, they are used to describe an object which is at the upper or lower limit of a quality. So you would say you're the tallest, the smallest, the fastest, the highest. We're having the est at the end. They are used in sentences where a subject is compared to a group of objects. For example, my house is the largest one in our neighborhood. This is the smallest box I've ever seen. Your dog ran the fastest of any dog in the race. So you have a noun plus verb plus the and the adjective est plus noun object. So there are two different things to how to compare. The comparative is comparing between two different things, but in superlatives is between a group of objects. Next is the punctuation marks. All of these marks are very important to know. You'll be needing it in writing. You have the reading. You have to know exactly where to put these marks. Let me get into details. So the capital letter, we always use it in the beginning of the sentence. We use the capital letter for names of people, places, books, titles, and festivals. We use capital letter for names of the days and months. We use capital letters when we write the word I. The full stop, we use a full stop at the end of a sentence. And commas, we use commas to take a little rest in a sentence. And we use commas to separate all the things in the list. The next point is should and shouldn't. We use should and shouldn't to give advice or to talk about what we think is right or wrong. For example, you look tired. You should go to bed. Let me get into details. The form of should is used for all persons and plus infinitive. Should is a modal verb and all the modal verbs are followed by an infinitive without to. For example, you should listen to me, not you should to listen. Okay, should not, shouldn't. The negative form of should is should not or shouldn't. For example, you should not be here or you shouldn't be here. And to make questions, we use should plus subject plus infinitive. And remember, we don't use the verb do to make questions. Also, again, I remind you that we use should or shouldn't to give somebody an advice and to say what is or isn't the right thing to do. For example, you look tired, you should have some rest. He shouldn't drive so fast. He'll have an accident one day. A quick exercise of should and shouldn't. Draw a line from the picture to the correct health advice. Let's solve the first two together. Number 1, you shouldn't watch TV when you have a headache. So what picture should we match with the box? Correct, it's this one. Number 2, you shouldn't eat candy when you have a toothache. What picture should we match with the box? Correct, it's this one. Now, I will give you time to solve the rest. Have you got your answers? Well done. The third one was, you should stay in bed when you have a high temperature. You should cover your mouth when you cough. You should eat soft food when you have a sore throat. You should use a tissue when you have a runny nose. You should take some medicine when you feel sick. Next is the contraction. A contraction is a word made by shortening and combining two words. Words like can't is cannot, don't is do not, and I've is I have. All of these are contractions. You have an examples here. Are not, we can say aren't, cannot is can't, did not, didn't, and so many examples. Make sure you refer your book as well for more contractions. And don't forget these contractions because they are important to know how to shortening and combining two words. Next is do, did, and done. Do is the present tense. We use it to perform an action. For example, I do the laundry, they do their work, she does the dishes. Did is a past tense, is an action that has already happened. For example, he did the laundry, you did your work, we did the dishes. And done is a past participle. We add an auxiliary verb. For example, I have done the dishes, he has done the work. So a quick exercise, complete the sentences with the correct verb, do, does, and did. Let's solve together the first three questions, then I will give time for you to solve the rest. Number 1, blank, want to go to the movies. The answer is, do you want to go to the movies? Number 2, how many hours blank Amy sleep last night? The answer is, how many hours did Amy sleep last night? Number 3, blank, she have rabbits. The answer is, does she have rabbits? Okay, we'll give time for you to solve the rest. Are you ready? Have you got your answers correct? Well done. The answer for number 4 is, what do you like to eat? 5, why do you have so many cats? 6, every day Ashton does his homework in his room. 7, what did you see at the aquarium? 8, I would like to do the dishes tonight. 9, my brother and sister did their chores last night. 10, Sam does not want to go to school today. Lastly, but not least, is the articles. We should know the a and the. A is used in front of singular countable nouns for a person, an animal, or thing, which are not specific. For example, a cat, a bird, a child, a doctor. An is used in front of singular countable noun, which are not specific as well. We don't use a before uncountable or plural nouns. For example, an apple, an egg, an ant, an orange. And the, we use the in front of all nouns. It does not matter whether the noun are singular, plural, countable, or uncountable. For example, the earth, the world, the sky, the air, and the weather. Okay, so now we have a small task. Complete each sentence with one word only. Let's view the answers in 3, 2, 1. So the answer for number 1 is, the horse runs fast. We can also say a horse runs fast because an A identifies an animal as well. 2, I saw a boy running in the street. 3, he can play upon the flute very well. 4, I saw an old man in the street. 5, all the boys were present. Number 6, he is a doctor. So make sure you know the difference between these three articles, a, an, and the. Here we have reached the end of our summary. I hope you learned a lot of things today. Thanks for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe our channel.